Hi, I'm going to try to see if I can make a very quick clip on how to try to use Zoom to make other quick clips for your students, and maybe we can take a look on how to use a virtual background. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move myself away from the recording part of this. You can see right here on the right hand side that I have my Zoom app already open. I've been using it for a while. The first time you use Zoom, which is free to you as faculty, you'll have to download it onto your computer. But then after that, it's easy peasy. So for me, for example, I'll always go and make sure that I use the same meeting ID. And so I'll just take a quick look at some of my settings. They all seem to look okay. I'm going to click on Start with Video. And now it's moving it out of our little connection screen. So let me just go ahead and move this over. As soon as it starts to load. It takes a while depending on your computer and how you're loaded in and all of that fun stuff. So let me get my screen into the recording screen right here. All right. So here I always start out without video. This is a photograph of my grandmother. Of course, you can have an image that says, "Welcome to Monica's office hours," for example. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start with video. And then you'll be able to see me through the webcam. All right, so there I am. Now, in order to get the virtual background, and then, the side panel here, I'm just going to go ahead and hide it because I don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to hide it there. But the only thing I can show you, I guess, is that if I go into meetings, that here I always have this clicked. Always use personal meeting ID for instant meetings. And that's just because there are a lot of numbers to have to remember. And I really love just having this as my personal meeting ID. And I think of it as a phone number. So it's easier for me to give to students or to colleagues and just say, hey, let's meet at 8, use this personal meeting ID. All right. And then also if you hover, you can see where you can go ahead and copy the meeting instructions, and then you can paste it onto an email or the inbox of Canvas and send it to your students. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hide this because right now we don't need it, so that I can open up this right here. Now, let me see if it'll let me do this. I'm going to open this just a little bit more. All right, so you have breakout rooms, you have a record button right here, a chat in case you mute everybody and you still want to see if students have questions or if you've gone too fast. You'll be able to check in to see what's happening there. The share screen, which is probably the most important, and then also the use of the virtual background. So I go into choose a virtual background, and it will give me a little dialog box that looks like this. And so what I do is that I say I'll choose the Golden Gate Bridge. That looks funny, right? That's because it's choosing to pick a background that's the color of my hair. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that box. I hope you see it down here. Maybe you're not, let me see if it records right there. So this box, you click on this box and then you click on something that might be a color that's not you. So let's say that we pick this color. That might work. Now at home and then sometimes in my office at Contra Costa College, I have the background is painted green, a light green color, so I use that. Or also I have a green screen. With the green screen, it's a lot better. So okay, I'll pick this as a color. It more or less works. Close that down. You'll notice there's fuzziness on the face, anywhere there's skin tones that are kind of matched with my back wall. So you'll see that too. But, like I said, you can just put up a green fabric on the back. I hang mine to the curtain, my curtains, so that my students don't see my backboard of my bed, so then they see like a bookcase or they'll see the Golden Gate Bridge. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is record right here. So I click record. I'm going to record to this computer. And then you notice here you have your pause and your stop recording. Then I'm going to share my screen. All right. So in order to share my screen, I want to make sure that I tell my students just a reminder. And so then sharing my screen has my photo there if I'm still keeping that up. If I don't want to have my image up there, then what I can do is go ahead and click on this, and then I can, let me see if it'll let me do it. It's not. I like to remind students is to please go in and view a film, say in Canopy, but that this particular film is going to require that they have a San Francisco Public Library card so that they could use it. The QuickClip itself might be no more than 5 minutes, and because it's short, then I would probably caption it. Another tip is to maybe write out the script and then just post it slightly above the webcam, so that you can read it accurately and then later upload it. So then with this, I would go ahead and stop my share. And then you would see me again. I would stop video probably so that it's kind of easier to then see what's going on without me in the way. Let me see. If I did start again, I'd probably choose a non-background setting just so I wouldn't have the disruption there. And now what I'm going to show you what to do is to go ahead and to save what you're doing and then upload it to YouTube. So here we're going to go ahead and stop. All right. Now it's still recording. So it's not recording this, but it's not going to show you your recording until after you end the meeting. So then what I'm going to do is end the Zoom meeting right here. And then I'm going to end the meeting for all. Right. And so what we will see, and I hope I can show you in the dialog box, is that there is, it saves. So pull this over so you can see it. So what it does is that it saves a recording. This recording is a little bit long because I had to pause Screencast-o-matic, jump and try to find some of my windows and what I was trying to show you. I will hope to edit all of this out. Now it's a lot of maneuvering of 2 different recording settings and everything. But as you can see, it doesn't take that long, and this is a pretty long clip. And once it's saved, the meeting, then it's already saved for you to go ahead and do whatever you want to do with it. You can use QuickTime right away to view it. In this case, I probably will have to edit it a lot before I send it to you. But while it's saving, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and start to open YouTube. So let me go ahead and I'll go into here. Got a lot of stuff open, and then I'll type in YouTube. And then once YouTube is open, then I can go ahead and select upload and then unlist it, in my case. And while that's doing this, then I hope that the clip is being saved. And yes, I can see it's hidden back here. Let me just pull it to the front here so I can see what's going on and how much it's recording. There we go. I'm going to close this up a little bit more. Bring this down. There we go. Just so you can see it. All right, and so it is taking a while. I'll try to edit this. If you notice that it's still at 52, go ahead and fast forward this quick clip because it really isn't supposed to be this long. There we go, but this looks good. Doesn't look like there are any glitches or anything. All right. Now, in terms of YouTube, I do always use the unlisted, and that's mainly because I don't mind my students or my colleagues sharing what I've just created for them. That's fine. If it's word of mouth and they share it, they can share as much as they want. But what I'd rather not have, and that's just a personal decision, is just have it there so that anybody can click Mónica, type Mónica Landeros, and then pull up all of the stuff I've created. None of it I feel is professional. I'm not using a studio. I don't have a makeup artist or hairdresser. I pick my own clothes, and today I didn't even wear matching shoes. So, but a lot of times we just need to get the information out to our students, and we need to do it quickly. So, and they know what we look like, and they're fine with our being a bit more human. So, okay, this looks good. 87%. Like I mentioned, normally it doesn't take this long because the quick clips really are only about 5 minutes long. But here I did all sorts of maneuvering and jumping over and opening Screencast-o-matic, readjusting some of the framing and everything. So that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Let's see here as it's starting to go through. Then I should get a dialog box with the folder, and I'll try to pull it into the recording screen here so that you can see exactly where that clip is going to go, and you can retrieve it easily. All right, so here we're reaching 99%. All right, and then as it's done doing that, then you get a little file box here, and note that it labels it Zoom 0, right? But it's today, something I just made right now. So I go ahead and change this. And so I will call this perhaps Zoom, maybe for QuickClip, or something that I'll remember. All right. So now that I've changed the name, I'll go ahead and drag this file right into my YouTube. And as it's doing that, then I go ahead and remove that out of my sight. And then you'll notice that it's also working on this. It's relatively quick. Again, this is a little bit longer than most of my clips. Normally, it just kind of zips through. Yeah, so there it goes. I'm happy to answer any questions on how to do this. I'm also happy to meet with you and maybe do it step by step. Because it does involve a couple of things. Now, in my presentation, I also involved Screencast-o-matic, which added a little tiny glitch, but I couldn't figure out how to show you the Zoom things without recording how I was going to show you the Zoom things. So it was a little bit weird. I was having a little TARDIS moment, I think. All right, so 58%. And description, I can start to type perhaps quick clip that shows how to use Zoom to record quick clips. All right. All right, and now it tells me that's done. I'm going to go ahead and confirm done. And it already gives me the link. This right here is going to be the link that then later I can, normally I put these in the announcements so that the students will see it. It's on, I put the announcements in the home page. If I feel that students aren't going into the home page, I might go ahead and put the clip into the Canvas inbox and then just send it to all the students just to make sure that they do, especially if it's a very important heads up, then I'll do that as well. All right, so if I were to go ahead and click on this, then I would be able to see that video. Return to editing. If I decided I want this to be part of my playlist, then I would go ahead and put it there in a playlist. Learning materials, maybe. Let's see. Here it is. Here's that link I mentioned. Here's the embed code. If you decide that you want this nice and neatly embedded, then you can go ahead and copy this. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to see if I can open, do I have any of them open? I don't. I think I have a Peralta one. No, that's not going to work. Let's see here. Let me do one that's a little bit easier. So, go ahead and do that. And say I'm still testing it out. I don't really know if it's quite appropriate or if I need to edit it more. I normally do have to edit these a lot more. But I do like to test it out somewhere, maybe in my sandbox, where it's all right. I'm not going to fear that anybody's going to take a look at it and it not quite be ready. So I'm going to go ahead and add the announcement here. Normally I title it, so it's going to be QuickClip on Zoom, let's say. HTML, I'm going to put in that code. I go back into the rich content editor to see that it's there. I delay posting almost always, and so let's say I do it for later today. So right now it's 9:30, so let me say that I'm going to do it 11, just because that way I can see it in case I made any mistakes, right? And then I'll save. So now when my students go into their home page, because I have the announcements on the home page, and then of course I send it to them, then they should be able to just go in there and then see the announcements. So let me see, there's that. I don't know if Canvas is taking a little bit longer to do this. Let me see, I go into my settings and see where I have my announcements. Let's see, more options. Let them see 4. Let me go back. Clearly going to have to do a lot of editing of this. Alright, so the announcements. Yeah, oh, of course. Of course, I couldn't see it because I set it to be available at 11. But here it is. So let me go ahead and click on this and then just take a quick look and see how that looks. Okay, so there I have it. Computer. And then you notice here you have your pause and your stop recording. So again, I can see that the quality is not great. I might say, okay, this is really a distraction. In order to share my screen, I want to make sure. So if I see something that looks like a huge distraction here, then I might say, okay, no, I really do need to go and get a green screen. So those are some of the things that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and end this, and again, feel free to give me a call if you need anything. Bye.